Alright, welcome back to Sonic Heroes, where we are playing the final levels in the game. And two damn fine levels, if I do say so myself.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship, built by the hands of a genius. Its power, unmatched throughout the universe.
Alright, Eggman. Let's get this party started.
So these are just conceptually very cool levels. You know, starting on Eggman's fleet, it's so cool. You're going across multiple ships, you're high up in the air, a lot of the camera angles are like facing downwards towards Earth.
The cannons are aiming our way.
It's just some cool stuff here.
There's more.
The music gets you pumped, and it feels very final. So I quite enjoy these levels, and you know, I like the concept of the last couple levels, Mystic Mansion and Hang Castle, but maybe playing them not so much, because they're not really that fast of levels. They're kind of slow. See, there's enough like fast-paced platforming and fun little set pieces in this level, and both of the levels, to keep me actually engaged in playing the levels, unlike the last ones, which again I like visually and I like you know, the music of, but playing them not so much. They're pretty slow, whereas these are very, very fun. And I would probably recommend using Tails here. Yeah, Sonic could probably make those jumps, but it's better to just use Tails. When it comes to any kind of scary-looking platforming, always switch to Tails. Maybe Knuckles, because he does have that like glide maneuver where he holds the hands of everyone else. Could be good, but probably not really. So these guys are pretty cool. They look like Gundams, but they are fairly annoying to take down. So I'm just going to Team Blast them, probably every single time. Because they bring up their shields, and I don't remember how to fight these guys normally. Because normally when a character has a shield in this game, you want to use Sonic's tornado attack. But that doesn't really do anything. So I'm just going to Team Blast glitch them to death. Like I need any more lives. I've got like 15 of them. I will say a big criticism that this game gets is that the characters literally will not stop talking. And I will say that that is an issue. Like, they're constantly saying stuff. A lot of it is like because the target audience for this game is children, and they want kids to be able to know like what you're supposed to be doing. So they'll say, like, Knuckles, you do this. They literally just did it there. Which I don't like, and I wish that they wouldn't do. But I don't think the criticism of they don't stop talking in the levels is warranted. Because a lot of it is the characters talking to to each other, which I think is nice. There's a lot of, like, neat little conversations that the characters can have. But I do agree that there is maybe too much of it. Maybe you could do with, you know, some of this being excised from the game. I wonder what I'm gonna do to this guy. I couldn't switch to the other characters there. That was what was happening there. That's why I just stood still. I don't know quite what that was about. I think it's because sometimes after Knuckles throws an enemy, or throws the other characters at an enemy, I think you can't switch back to them until they appear back behind Knuckles. And here's the only time that you need to use the Rocket Excel in the entire game. It's a completely optional move until you get there. Very strange. They also don't really, I don't think, tell you how to do it. They're just like, yep, Rocket Excel, do it, go.
Knuckles, we're counting on you.
And, you know, I don't like modern games that have the characters constantly talking. It just makes you feel like you're an idiot. oh, I think, did I already talk about this? I might have. Where, like, they don't trust you to finish a puzzle or anything like that. As much as I love the Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider reboot games, they kind of do that when you're, like, in a tomb, when you're in one of the optional tombs. Lara will just say, like, there's got to be some way to get across this ledge. I wonder if I can use blah blah blah. And of course that guy is glitching through the ground. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, I don't really like modern games that do that, and some games have the option to turn it off, which means they know how bad it is. But, you know, whatever. What are you gonna do? Yeah, these parts are just cool. Like, there's not really a big threat here, it just makes you feel like, okay, cool, we're using all the characters' abilities to get through this massive fleet of Eggman airships, which is quite neat. I enjoy this part of the game. And it also leads into, I would say, the only good boss battle, maybe in the entire game, which would be the final boss of each of the story campaigns. Because all the other bosses are incredibly, at their best, they're incredibly forgettable, and at their worst, they're like terribly frustrating to deal with and just boring. Whereas the final boss is actually quite good. And even the boss in the final story is like just fine. Like here, it would have been nice if you had to figure out for yourself, should I go up or down here? Obviously, I apparently needed to hear it there. Thankfully, they do give you another propeller thing to use in case you whiffed it like I did. I think there's one on like every single one of the Eggman ships. So that's not so bad. Speaking of Eggman, I've talked about how I don't really like the character models in this game. I think the one character that gets out of it fine is Eggman. Like, I think his character model in this game is probably the best out of the, like, adventure games. It's better than the one in Adventure 1 for sure, and even, I would say, better than the one in Adventure 2. I don't remember... They reuse most, if not all, of these character models for Shadow. And I think it's the same Eggman model. They might have done it a little bit differently, because I feel like he's a little bit fatter in Shadow, but I don't really remember. So I quite like the hero's character model for Eggman. It looks the most like his adventure artwork. And this is probably the closest that all the characters do come to looking like their adventure artwork. But again, if they weren't so shiny and plastic looking, I think they would be much, much better. It is just unfortunate that they look like this. They look like they've been lathered in butter. And it also reflects in the gameplay because of all the characters being so slippery. This is also weird. This is the only level in the game that doesn't end with the goal ring being touched, which I think is very strange. Whoa, we're gonna go crash land on Earth!
That was tight!
So now we have the final level in the game, which is also very cool. Final Fortress. I love the compare and contrast between the two levels.
This must be Eggman's headquarters.
The Egg Fleet is bright and shiny, and it looks like, you know, it's just a heroic looking level. The Sonic heroes are here to take down Eggman and his fleet. And then Final Fortress is dark and scary, and there's all kinds of lightning, and it just makes you feel like, okay, we're here, we're at the end now. Although I will say again, this level's maybe a little bit too long, because the rest of this video is going to be this level, so I think that's about like 11 minutes, something like that. Which again, I do not like Sonic levels that are long. unless it fits the particular play style of the character that you're playing as. Like, this isn't the Werehog, this isn't just a Knuckles level, it's a Sonic level. But it shouldn't be 11 minutes, I'm just saying. And once again, we got one of these guys here. Let's just team attack glitch this dude into oblivion. You can build up team glitch like normally by attacking enemies, but it's going to take way too long if I did that, so the Team Blast glitch is really a lifesaver in this game. I would say if you don't, like if you've never played this game with the Team Blast glitch, go back and play it, because it alleviates a lot of issues like the combat taking too long. I think the Team Blast glitch is really quite great. I do think it's funny that Sony, I think they sued Sega to release this game on PS2. And the PS2 version of Sonic Heroes is, like, notoriously bad. Like, it's clear that they were sued into making that version of the game. And it's just funny that this is the game that they sued for. They weren't like, hey, why'd you put Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 on GameCube, but you didn't put it on PS2? That felt unfair. I don't know what exactly happened there, but that did feel unfair.
Got it.
Leave it to me.
Yeah, I think like the frame rate is way worse. The PS2 is not as powerful a console as the GameCube, so it looks worse. That's something I only found out recently. I always figured, like, you know, most of the Sony consoles are usually more powerful than, like, others. Certainly more powerful than the Nintendo consoles of the era. But, like, looking at Resident Evil 4, even on the PS2, which is, to date, the only version of the game that I do not have and have not played, it looks 1,000 times worse. I couldn't believe that. That was like a real eye-opener. I just always assumed that PS2 was more powerful. But GameCube is... and definitely I think the Xbox was way more powerful. Let me look this up just to make sure that I'm not getting this wrong, that Sony sued for this game. Sony sued for Sonic Heroes. I'm not getting a whole lot. Did I make that up? That's weird. I could have sworn. Maybe they just did they had like a bit of a hissy fit about it, but didn't quite sue. I could have sworn that happened. They put this on the PlayStation Network? When did that happen? Oh, not in North America. That's really strange. Yeah, I feel like I've watched videos where people said that they sued that, and I could have sworn I've heard that before. So, I don't know, maybe I just am getting my wires crossed, but I really thought that was a thing in this game. So yeah, you can take those guys out normally, but I would much rather just Team Blast glitch these guys, because they take way too long otherwise, as you're seeing here.
Got it.
I always feel like a last level should be a culmination of every single technique that you've learned in the game so far. And this game does a fine job of it, but I don't think it does enough. And I don't really know how you do that. I think maybe a cool thing to do would have been separate the characters. Like, create a whole new type of play. Like, there's sections where you just play as Sonic and you just experience his gameplay. Sections where you just play as Tails, like you can't switch to anyone else. Or maybe the other characters just straight up aren't even there and they're all off doing their own thing. I think that would have been a kind of interesting way to do the final level of this game. Right here, I think they put an enemy on the rails in the Team Dark story. It's the only time they do it in the entire game, and it's very bizarre. You'd think that would be like a cheap enough way to artificially increase the difficulty, but they only do it the one time. When really, I'd say they probably should have been doing it the entire time.
There's gotta be a switch somewhere.
Leave it to
Got
me.
it.
I like how Sonic is attacking him on his own. That's very bizarre.
Got it.
Here we go.
I will say the only thing I don't quite like about this particular level is the music. It doesn't feel as upbeat and like final as it should.
Here we go.
It's maybe a little bit too dark. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Come on now, Sonic. And I don't quite like the platforms disappearing thing in this.
Here we go.
Makes me feel way too nervous. Again, whenever this game makes me feel nervous, I don't like it.
Leave it to me.
Ouch. Look, I'm out here just trying to glitch the game to use the Team Blast glitch, but everyone's just being mean to me. Blast away. Cool stuff. Again, running out of things to say in this level, which is why I would never in a million years play any of the other stories. Because imagine having to do this 3 more times. Play through this level 3 more times and find stuff to say about it 3 more times. Could not be done. That's why, again, if I were to do Shadow, which, again, someone's gonna have to
Leave it to me.
talk me out of doing, I would not show 10 playthroughs of that game. I would pick one and then show the final story. There's no reason anyone would ever need to sit through that game 10 times.
Leave it to me.
There's robots everywhere. Time to party.
They're attacking mountain. Keep your guard up.
What are you saying, Tails?
It comes my way.
There is a bit of a, like, you have to make sure you're close enough to these enemies. You can't, like, just do the Team Blast once you see the enemies. If you're not close enough to them, it's not going to work. I was very nervous about this, like hoping that it was going to work correctly, but I did it the wrong way twice. And then I just realized, like, up here, oh yeah, let me just go up here and skip all this. Which I guess I could have done from the start, right? Could I have gotten up there? No, maybe not.
Leave it to me. Let's go.
Let's go. Wow, just barely made that one. This is the part of the level that I get kind of scared of the most, is when you are going on the rails and they're shooting lasers at you. I feel like the timing
Time to party.
for avoiding the lasers is very strange.
I'll destroy everything that comes my way.
And I'm actually going to mess myself up here, because in all the other stories, once you defeat these enemies, there would be like one of those Captain America shields that they would spawn, where Tails has to knock the other guys into it, and that would activate the switch, but one of those didn't show up. So I literally could not figure out what to do, so we're going to just skip past that until I figure out that there's a switch that I need to pull. I was very annoyed at this. I was like, what the hell? All the other characters just have to shoot one of those Captain America shields.
Got it.
So that added some time onto my level. I don't think I get a great rank on this one.
Leave it to me. Leave it to
Got
me.
it.
Leave it to me. Leave it to me.
Got it, got it. That noise, I just don't understand what that glitch is.
Leave it to me.
Like, what's happening?
Leave it to me.
Okay, see ya.
Here we go.
And what is Tails saying? I have so many questions about this game.
Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Leave it to me.
It's so funny. It will never cease to amaze me that that glitch exists. And it's so easy to perform, really. It's one of those that, like,
There they are.
anyone could do that. You don't have to practice it or anything. Maybe it'll take a second to get into the rhythm of it, but Anyone can do that, and it breaks the game wide open.
Leave it to me.
That'd be like if in a Devil May Cry game you could just, there were like 2 buttons you could press that instantly made it so that your Devil Trigger gauge was filled up.
All about Eggman Robot.
That's some whack stuff right there, man.
Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Leave it to me.
Okay, bye guys. You're supposed to be these scary big enemies at the end of the level. But nope. Yeah, this part, if I remember correctly, I think I actually game overed when recording this the first time. So this is like my second attempt through. This part kept killing me because the laser beams are very strange. You have to switch over very quickly between these lanes when getting hit by the, or when the lasers are active. Like, you can switch over, like, now-ish, as soon as the sound effect drops out. But there's still times where I've done it and I've just taken damage for no good reason. If that makes any sense. I'm not good at explaining stuff like that. Also, the last time that I game over it, I took a little too slow here and got one-shotted by that laser, and I think it knocked me off or something. No, I just didn't have any rings. It was very not fun. And that's basically it for this level. It's a fun one. I do think Egg Fleet is a little bit better. But this one does feel very final. It feels like you're assaulting the base. There's a lot of enemies. It's fine. But in the next video, we are going to fight the final boss and see what the other stories are like. So, see you then.
Perfect!